Hey everyone, I'm just gonna wait for a few minutes for you guys to pop on. My name is Dana with Love Soul of Flowers. I've got my paint apron on tonight because we are going to be doing some hand painting. So what's really fun about the tutorial tonight is that we only need one type of flower from lovesouloflowers.com in order to make 3 styles of flowers that we are doing tonight. So just gonna wait for you guys to come. I see some people already coming on. We are still having our sale, but it ends soon. It is up to 70% off on Sola flowers. So when you go to lovesouloflowers.com, the prices are already marked down, so you don't need a code or anything. You just shop and they already discounted. Now I have cut some of my flowers here, and I'm going to show you that one large hydrangea can make the 3 flowers that we are doing tonight. So it's really exciting. I hope you've been enjoying, hey Sarah, I hope you've been enjoying some of these like little painty tips that we've been doing. I just wanted to share some of these little things. I am gonna make, hopefully next week I'm gonna do an arrangement, hey Martha, so that any of you who are kind of stuck at the arranging part, that might help you guys. But I just wanted to give you some of these kind of fun dyeing techniques, especially if you're looking for specific flowers. And so I thought for a couple weeks, hey Sue, we would do some of these things. So tonight we're going to actually do 3 flowers. We're going to do pansies, violets, and forget-me-nots. They're all kind of similar. So I only needed a few colors actually because they share colors too. Hi April. So I'm just going to give it just a few more minutes for people to get on. Again, the sale on lovesouloflowers.com is ending soon. It's up to 70% off. And I'm so glad, Stephanie. Yay. Up to 70% off. And again, you don't need any coupon codes. You can get fillers and stuff on sale as well. Hey, Kara. And hi, Denise. I see all of you guys jumping on. So yeah, so the sales on all of our flowers, they all have a different sale, but it's all marked down without needing a coupon code. Hi, Elsie. Hi, Lori. I see all of you on. Hi, Cheyenne. Cheyenne, my kitty cat's name is Cheyenne. Oh, good. So I'm glad that the dyeing stuff and painting stuff has been fun. Hi, Melissa. But we are going to do some arranging stuff too, because I didn't want to leave you hanging there. Hi, Callie. Because, yeah. Hi, Sherry. So I am going to get started. So hi, everyone who joins, and I don't get to say hello to. But we are going to do 3 different styles of flowers. So I'm really excited. I'm going to tell you what colors we are using for this. So I have a kind of a darker, brighter purple. And like I got these little they're like the little mini solo cups. Yay! Oh yes, so hydrangeas is great because they turn into so many different things. So I got these little mini cups. I got like a darker, bright purple, more of a wisteria color purple, kind of like a bluey purple. I'm gonna have to stir these before I do anything with them. I have yellow and I have black. Hi Cindy. So my black and my yellow do not have any water in them. They're not watered down at all. Yeah, Callie, I know. I'm excited about the metallics. But so let me just show you. I'm gonna show you the large hydrangea that I have already started chopping up for this project. So this is not how it comes to you. The Bear brand the brand I use is Bear. Lori, all the colors I use is always Bear brand because I have a Home Depot local, and the paint people know me now, so it's fun to just use the same brand. I like the coverage of it. So so this is the hydrangea, but this is not how it comes to you. I've already cut off some blossoms, as you can see. But if you think about a large hydrangea, you can get so many of these styles of flowers. I use these for crowns. I use them for boutonniere extras. I use them for accessories because you can take this one hydrangea, and I know it's a little bit more expensive because it's so big, but if you count how many actual blooms are on it, you're actually getting a really good deal with it. So what I did is I went through all the different blooms and I cut off some of the better shaped ones and I've dipped them in water and I fluff them out. Now I dipped them in water before I got on video because I didn't want them soaking wet by the time I started to paint. So if you're gonna do the same thing and fluff them out a little bit, you're gonna wanna do that before you're painting, okay? Because you don't want it very, very wet, because then your paint's gonna bleed everywhere. It's gonna be a little bit harder to control your paint. Now sometimes your paint bleeding is a good thing, but for this project, because we have centers, we don't want it to just run all over the place. Now again, you're gonna be looking for the best blossoms in your hydrangea because you're gonna wanna fluff them out. As everyone knows, you can't have a perfect sola flower. Sola flowers are handmade and then they're shipped around to you. They're a little bit more delicate. So it is very common, very normal to have, you know, a sola flower that needs just a little fluffing, or if it has a tiny little chip, you can actually just trim it with a scissor. And if you are new to sola and you are wanting your flower to be perfect, we actually have a bunch of videos on how to make them perfect. Again, there is no perfect sola flower. It's impossible to get an entire shipment of perfect flowers, but Love Sola takes quality very seriously, so there is a very serious quality control. But we do have some videos. If you look through our video tab here on the business page, you can see different ways to make your sola perfect, meaning that you can fluff it or trim it according to, you know, what you need to be done. So yeah, I know nature's aren't perfect either. I don't usually do much to my flowers, even if they have little imperfections, because I think they look more realistic when there's imperfections. So for me, I usually just leave them, but I am gonna keep looking for some of these blooms that look easy to open, and we are gonna make these 3 flowers together today. Again, our sola flowers are 70%, up to 70% off right now, but the sale will end soon. That's lovesolaflowers.com. No coupon necessary. Our fillers are on sales too, and they've all been reduced, so you can just see the prices on there. Now, if you are also new to us and have not joined our community group, we do have a community group that you can share your ideas and everything else, and it's really nice. So it's facebook.com/groups/lovesolaflowers, and you can join that, and it's just a fun kind of place to be, sharing ideas when you see something that you didn't even think of, you know, and then you can ask your questions and we can help you with those too. Hi, Maria. So we're gonna start easiest to hardest, okay? So the very easiest is gonna be a violet, okay? So a violet is purple on the outside and has a yellow center. So the thing about a violet, when I looked up to find like the perfect color of violet, they vary in purples. So you can pick the purple that you like. Usually they're like a darker purple, but there are different varying shades. So what I like to do, if I am making a replication or something that I want to do, like for instance a violet, I can take my phone to the paint store and I can like zoom in and I just look at which swatch matches the color that I want for my flower. Now, I didn't fluff these buds yet because these ones for the violet are actually going to be dipped. Okay, so you don't have to fluff them ahead of time because we will fluff them while they are going into the dye. So again, this is purple, and we're just going to dip it right in. I have these little cups. I didn't need anything big because I've got my little blossoms. And I'm going to dip my blossom right into the purple that I picked for my violet color. I'm sure that there is, you know, a color called violet that you can use, and then that would probably be pretty accurate. But I liked this bright purple. This is actually, I can't even give you the name of this color because it is actually a custom made color that matches a bridesmaid's dress. So I don't have a name for this color, but again, you can just take your phone with you, bring up a picture of a real violet, and then match it that way. Now I just am touching a few spots that are still white, and I'm just going in there with my brush. Okay, so this one was not wet beforehand. I simply dipped it in my paint, okay, and then I fluffed it out. So basically I just pulled my little petals out, and that's it. So this is like a brighter purple. And then what I'm gonna do, I have a little pointy brush and I have yellow paint. And this paint is not watered down, okay? So my purple was watered down, my yellow is not because I don't want it to bleed. So I'm just gonna touch that little dot in the center. So these are so great. What do you put in the cup? It's my paint, water, and glycerin mixture. So the normal mixture I make when I dip flowers is what's in my little cups. Okay, so I use the same mixture to hand paint that I do to dip. But my center paint is not watered down because I don't want it to bleed and be all over the place. So I'm just taking my yellow, and I love the hydrangeas because they actually have a little bead in the middle of the blossom. I'm gonna zoom it up close for you. And so it's very easy. All you do is do that little spot yellow. Now, see, I ran a little bit. Let me just fix it a little bit. If you do bleed a little bit, you can just shape it there. Okay. All right, I fixed it. All right. So again, we dipped it in the purple, and then we used non-watered down yellow to get the little center. I'm gonna do one more of the violet. These are so cute. Violets are so cute in just little planters. It's like you don't have to do anything else. Violets used to be a super popular gift that you bring if you go to someone's house for dinner or something like that. A little pot, a potted plant of violets, and that's all it was. And so you can make an entire thing. Now you can stem these. I'm gonna just show you real fast. You can actually stem these if you cut the wire longer. I cut it short on purpose. But if you bought the stem covers, this is Love Sola's stem covers. If you're looking for stem covers, they're under the tab supplies. Sultan, if you're there, if you want to put the link up for your stem covers, and then all you have to do is hot glue it. Okay, so if you were using these in something, I just touched the yellow paint. Let me just fix it real fast. Okay, so you can stem these little guys too. So if you're gonna put them in a bouquet, then you're all set to go. Okay, all right. So I'm going to put that one to the side. I'm gonna do one more violet, and then we're gonna move on to the next flower. Again, so I'm gonna show you. I cut off the bloom. Look, I didn't fluff it or anything. How long does it take after you order to get the flowers? Cindy, we ship I think shipping right now is like 2 to 3 days, or maybe with the sale up to 5 days, but it ships very, very quickly out of our store. And then the postal service has been taking a little longer than usual, but still most people get it in the range of their time that usually shipping is. There have been some delays just because of the icing that had happened. The weather kind of slowed things up, and of course COVID has slowed postal services up. So some of that stuff is a little delayed, but we get it out very fast, okay? So they work really hard in the warehouse to get your order out like super duper fast. Sometimes people get it in the same day in a normal thing. When it's a bigger sale, sometimes it takes a few extra days because of the volume of sales. So again, I didn't fluff it, okay, but I'm gonna dip it in my purple. And then I'm gonna open it up. And once I open it up, again, there might be some white spots. See how there's a white spot because I opened it up? So I'm just gonna take my paintbrush and cover the white spot and make sure we're good. All right. Oh, good, Cindy. Yeah. So you'll be getting, again, shipping takes some time, and depending on the size of your box as well. So sometimes things can go out priority, and sometimes, if you have a bigger order, they ship. They take a little longer. So I'm going to just go back into my non-watered down yellow, and I'm going to just touch that little nubby little ball center I have here. I love that they have that because it makes it look super realistic. And again, the yellow is not watered down, okay? If you make sure when you shop, you set up yourself an account, because just because you use an email, it doesn't mean you actually have an account with us. If you sign up to have an account, you can always click account when you go to lovesolaflowers.com, and you can see all your tracking numbers and your orders. So if for some reason like your shipping notifications go to spams or things like that, you could always look it up in your account section there too. Oh, good, Diana. Yeah, isn't this pretty? I love this purple. Again, this purple was just someone took a bridesmaid dress and matched it, so it's not an actual color. But could you imagine a little planter of violets? How easy is it? Because you just do a bunch of these little blossoms. You can wire them a little longer. You put them with a little greenery in a potted plant, and you have a little bowl of violets. Okay, so that's violets. Let's see. Let me see what the next one should be. Okay, the next one we're going to do is the forget-me-nots, okay? So forget-me-nots are kind of a bluish color. So I have a blue that I use here. Let me wash off my brush here. And I'm going to use one of the flowers that I already fluffed. So in order to fluff it up, meaning fluffing usually means like just reshaping it. So if it's a little crinkled, again, solar flowers aren't always perfect when they get to you. They're handmade and handcrafted. And so there can be minor imperfections, and all you have to do is add a little water to reshape it because the petals are super flexible. So all I did was dip this in water and then I opened it up. Do you see how great that is? So I'm going to make a forget-me-not. A forget-me-not has, actually I have a sample here. It's blue with a yellow center and then a black center, okay? So I'm going to, again, this was wet so that I opened it up, but it's not soaking wet because I did it before you were here. I'm just going to use my bigger brush to take more space, and I'm going to start at the back because the whole back is going to be blue. So I'm just going to paint that on. The center is where we have some detailing. So the back of the petals, I'm just going to hit them with this blue. It's kind of like a bluey, I don't know. It's like a bluey purple, but I don't know if I can call it purple, but. And then when I flip it, we're going to come back with the little brush, and we're just going to take it and do the outside tips, okay? That's not a question. Hydrangeas or wooden flowers. Elsie, these are from lovesolaflowers.com as well. And this one is called the large hydrangea because it's the shape of the large hydrangea has a whole lot of blossoms and blooms here to use. So I'm gonna just do the edges, okay? Do you see how I'm doing the edges? So I'm going in there. These back petals, I'm gonna go all the way to the center. Okay, only the center petals don't need to be all blue. These back petals are going to be all blue. And then again, I'm just doing the tips here. And they can bleed a little bit, and it will bleed a little bit because first of all, the mixture is watered down, but also I dip these in water to shape them up before I started the video. Again, I don't want them soaking wet because I don't want it to bleed so bad that it can't leave any white. So as you can see, I left white. Okay, so all of our tips of our petals are gonna be blue. Let me hold it like this. This is easier, right? Are gonna be blue. So let me just do all the tips blue. And then we're gonna come back with the yellow. Now remember, it's okay if it does drip a little bit because our yellow is not watered down and it will go over this light blue. So it's not that big of a deal if you do get some bleeding that you didn't want. Again, these back petals, I'm gonna do all blue. Just the center is what we're worried about, saving some white spots. They are different, but if you have like a bunch of small ones there, you can do, you can deconstruct it, but these specific flowers you wouldn't be able to do because I'm pretty sure the blooms on the small one are like squeezed a little tighter. You can't really open them wide like this. So the large hydrangea is better for these three flowers. Now I'm going to take my little brush again here and see where I left white. As you can see, I have white there. I'm going to fill that in with yellow, okay? And again, you're not going to want like a stripe of it. You're going to nice and gently just go in there with the yellow. Start at the center and pull it up till you meet the blue. Might be big. Yeah, I think though that the small hydrangea blooms, I don't think they open enough to get this shape for these flowers. But you definitely can use those blooms for other things though. Okay, so I'm taking my yellow and I'm covering up what I left white. So I'm going right up to meet the blue. Again, my yellow is not watered down because I don't want it to bleed, because then I'll get like green. If my yellow bleeds into my blue, I will not have a blue flower anymore. I'm just going to pull that back and open it a little bit more. So I'm taking it from the center, pulling it back till I meet my blue. Okay? Then I'm going to move my yellow away. Let me wash my brush off. And that little nub that comes in the center of this hydrangea bloom is going to be black, okay? So the forget-me-not does have a little black eye. It literally looks like a little bitty dot. So I'm just going to carefully go around that little nubby on the inside here. And then that's a forget-me-not. Now, I don't mean, if you don't know what a forget-me-not looks like, because I didn't know what a forget-me-not looked like until I had an order for one. But you can Google them and you can see that this really does look like a forget-me-not. Okay, so this is my forget-me-not. We had our little violet. Okay, so again, this is just using the large hydrangea, which is on sale right now because we are still having our sale, but it's not going to be for much longer. So if you want to catch the up to 70% off sale on lovesoloflowers.com, you're going to want to grab it. Again, all of the flowers tonight, if you're just joining, are used from the blossoms of a deconstructed large hydrangea. Now, again, let me show you one more time. Sultan, if you want to put up your stem covers, we got new stem covers. Basically, they cover your wires so you don't have to see wires. So you can do that with your little blossoms as well. You just hot glue them right onto the stem covers. And you can, I know, me too, Nancy. You can put them in vases and not worry about trying to cover up your wire. And then again, the stem covers are under the section called supplies. Now we have that section there. So you can cover those, and then you can put them in bouquets. If you want to group, like, I don't want to ruin this, forget-me-not. Let me put these violets together. You could even group a couple violets together into one stem cover, so that if you're making it in a bouquet, you don't want to have just one little lonely blossom in there. You can put them, except I just caught it on this one here. You can put them all in the same stem cover. It's not so easy when they're wet, but see, you could use the same stem cover and have like a little grouping of violets and stuff, and then that can go in like a wildflower bouquet. Same thing with forget-me-nots, because forget-me-nots are also blossoms that bloom together in like little bundles. You could do that where you have one stem cover but multiple blossoms. And again, you can cut your wire longer. I just cut them short because I didn't want it to take up my whole little table here while I did it. So you can use a longer wire. So that's my violets. So now we have violets and we have forget-me-nots. Hi, Lori. And now we're gonna make a pansy, okay? So pansy is the hardest because there is like a color combination that you have to get right because it kind of grows in the same color pattern all the time. So I'm actually gonna use my dark purple. I'm gonna use the blue I used for the forget-me-not, and I'm gonna use my non-watered down yellow, okay? So what we're gonna do, let me wash off my brush here. I want my big brush because it covers more space faster. What we're gonna do, again, we're gonna do the back of our flower first, and we're gonna do it a dark purple. Okay, so I'm gonna just paint on the dark purple to the back of my flowers. And it might seep through the tips of the front of the flower petal, and that's okay because this one again is gonna be the tips, so we're not gonna worry about that right now. So I'm gonna show you, again, the pansy needs a little bit more, there's an actual pattern to a pansy. So we have to pay attention a little bit more. Obviously the violet was easy because all we did was dip it. And the forget-me-not just had the different center. But a pansy actually has a certain marking on it. So I did the underneath, and now we're gonna do the top. Now I'm gonna do my whole back row solid purple, okay? The back row. So a hydrangea bloom has a center, and then it has back petals. So what I'm gonna do is all my back petals, I'm going to paint the darker purple, okay? Then what I'm gonna do is I need to use my little brush for the next step. Let me finish this back row. Does anyone have questions so far? So what you should be left with, I'm gonna show you up close. So a pansy has a back row of a solid color, and then it has 3 petals that have a lighter color, or, you know, actually there's lots of colors of pansies, but it has 3 petals that are a different color. So look how great this blossom is for a pansy. I swear that when they were making the hydrangeas, they were thinking about pansies. I think I just put paint on my face. They were thinking about pansies. I know it is a great color. Again, it's just a bridesmaid's dress color match, so I don't even have the name of it. But so they made it basically where it's perfect. So do you see how my back row is purple? And then I've left the entire center white, okay? So here's what we do with the centerpiece, okay? I'm gonna use a little brush for this because I really need to be able to get into the spots. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take that dark purple, and we are just gonna do the very edge of those 3 petals in the inside, okay? Now again, a pansy has a pattern, so if you don't paint it right, it's not really a pansy because this is how a pansy grows. So those 3 petals are gonna get tipped with my darker purple. Oops, I left 4 petals. All right, let me paint this one because I need to leave 3 petals, because again, a pansy is 3 petals. Okay? Kind of like, you know how like an orchid grows? Okay, so I have the 3 white, but I'm doing the tips of it in dark purple. And I'm leaving the center of it white. And I'll do one more after this too, and then we'll be done with our tutorial. So do you see how I did the edges and I left that white? I know it looks weird right now, but, and then make sure the backs of your petals are done too. So I'm gonna go in there and do that, because I like to make sure that no matter what angle we're looking at, it's not white. So I'm gonna go in the back. Okay, so I have my white. Now I'm gonna take my lighter blue. I'm gonna mix that up, and the same way as we filled in the white spot with the yellow for the forget-me-not, we're gonna fill in the white with this lighter blue. Okay, and I'm gonna take it and I'm gonna just start in the middle, and I'm gonna meet the purple. Okay, so I'm gonna just bring it up till I meet that purple. Again, you want 3 petals for a pansy to have this multi-color. And again, you're gonna wanna look at pansies, like Google pansies, and you can see what color. They come in all different colors. I just picked these colors because I was already having the purple out, so it wasn't like... That little ball in the center is also gonna be this blue color. And remember, 3 petals get this multicolor painting situation here. I'm gonna hold it up to you, for you to see close. Okay, so all of my back petals are purple. 3 of my inside petals have edges of purple and centers of a light blue purple. It's like a, I don't know what color they call this. It's like a purpley blue though. It's, you know, leans towards the purpley, more wisteria kind of color. Okay, then, so you do all the back petals, you leave 3 where it's two-toned, and then 1 petal gets yellow. And again, this is how they grow in nature, so if you're wanting them to look like a good replica, periwinkle, that's the word I was looking for, Luann. It is periwinkle. So again, my yellow is not watered down, okay? Because I do not want this to spread. So I'm gonna pick one petal and it gets yellow. Usually it's the center petal, okay? So I'm gonna take my flowers, I'm gonna dip it in the yellow, and on one of the petals, I'm just gonna cover up a little bit of the center, and kind of like a starburst, I'm gonna come a little bit onto this other petal because it's folded over it. And again, this is not watered down, so it's not bleeding everywhere. Okay, so let me show you. Okay, and again, you can use whatever 3 colors you want. Pansies come in so many different colors, but you're gonna wanna choose, you know, whatever matches whatever you're making, either if you're making a home decor piece or a bouquet. You can look up like what a real, if you go to google.com and you search pansy and click images, it'll bring up all different types of coloring. Okay, so I'm gonna do one more pansy just so you see it. Again, if you're just joining us right now, our sale is ending soon. It's up to 70% on Sola Flowers. That's on lovesolaflowers.com. It's also, we do have fillers, and this is using the large hydrangea. So all these little baby flowers, don't go try searching for this little flower because it starts, I mean, these are chopped off now, but it starts as a large hydrangea, and then we cut open it with the little wires here. We just cut off our little blooms. So we're gonna make one more pansy for you just to show you, because I know it's a little trickier because how it grows in nature is a little bit more patterned. So I'm gonna do, again, the back of my flower first in a purple. Again, pansies are all different colors. I'm using this bright purple, a periwinkle bluey purple, and the yellow. Yellow is in most of the pansies, but you can come up with other color combinations, of course, too. And of course, even if you're not trying to get exactly what a pansy looks like, it's fun just to paint something like this because it gives something depth. You don't need a lot of these things in your pieces to make it look like a realistic piece. You need maybe 3 or 4 of them in there, and then that's all you need for it to look like a kind of high end, because you do a couple hand paintings. So again, I'm gonna do the back row in my dark purple. I did the back. Now I'm gonna do the front of my back row. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna leave 3 of the petals in the front and the top layer empty white. And again, I like to use a bigger brush when I do this just so it saves me some time and I don't have to go in with this little tiny brush trying to cover. Okay, so there's 3. So I need to do this little guy. I want to make sure I get him front and back. And sometimes it takes a little maneuvering of the petals to get both sides. You guys have any questions? Okay, so I left 3 white. Okay, so I did all the backs, the front and the backs of all the petals except for 3. Those 3, I'm gonna take my little bitty brush and I'm going to just do the outer layer, and that I'm gonna let bleed down a little bit. Okay, so I'm gonna do the outer layer. I'm just gonna basically touch the edge of those petals and let it bleed down a little bit. These are not soaking wet, but I had dipped them right before the video, so maybe like 15 minutes they were drying. And then I want to get the back of these petals so they're not white. So now you can see I just did the tips and the centers are white. So I'm going to come in with my periwinkle blue and I'm going to fill in the white right up until I hit the purple. Okay, so I'm going to take my, well, I guess I need to use this brush. Let me clean it off. I'm going to take my periwinkle blue. I'm going to start in the center. I'm going to pull it out until I hit my purple. Okay. Again, the paint that I'm using to paint right now is a mixture of the same mixture as I would do to dip my flowers, which is some water, some glycerin, and I use Behr brand house paint, but you can use other indoor paints or acrylics. Indoor house paint just tends to keep things softer and more coverage. Okay, so I brought my periwinkle blue. Now one of the petals, and usually it's the center one, is going to have the yellow. Okay, so now I'm going to find the center one again, and I'm going to take my thin brush, and my yellow is not watered down. I'm going to start in the center, and I'm going to starburst it out just on that one petal. And when you go look at Google a picture of pansies, you can see how they have this pattern of the 3 petals being multicolored and the 1 petal with the yellow. Okay, I mean, there's different styles too. You know, all flowers have different variations, but this was just like the normal everyday pansy. I liked these colors together, like the blue with the purple. Okay, so I'm going to show you, I'm going to hold them up. We did pansies. Okay. Again, this is from just a large hydrangea. These were the pansies. We did a forget-me-not, which are usually blue with a yellow center and then a black little bead center. That's a forget-me-not. Eve, I like my flowers to look glossier because a real flower is kind of shiny. So I don't tend to use chalk paints because I don't really like a chalky look for flowers. And then we did, oop, that was my pansy. Then we did violets, okay? So violets are obviously the easiest. We dipped them in purple and we just touched that little bead in the center with non-watered down yellow. But look how cute even all of them together. You can make a whole little potted plant with just these things. And again, if you have, I don't know exactly how many blossoms, I mean, I don't think it's an exact number, come on a large hydrangea, but you definitely would only need like 1 hydrangea to do a little potted plant. So think about that, because sometimes when you look at the price of 1 hydrangea, you're like, oh, it's so much more than 1 flower, but that's because there's a million little blooms here. So I've already torn this one apart like crazy. This is about half the size of what it usually is. So think about how many little blooms. But could you even picture like little crowns like with these things in them? How cute would that be? You know what I mean? You can make them little bobby pins, but you could definitely do like pansies on a crown, because look how little they are. They're perfect for that size. They don't overwhelm like a headpiece. So it's great to have these little blooms off the hydrangea, because again, it's not going to kill you in size if you're wanting it on like a headpiece. You could definitely use them in corsages and boutonnieres, as well as all your home decor as well. So those are 3 flowers you can get from 1 flower, which is the large hydrangea, on sale right now on lovesolaflowers.com. And again, if you are not part of our community group, join us there at facebook.com/groups/lovesolaflowers and share your stuff, because a lot of people have been using our tutorials and then they jump on and share, and it shows everybody, all the new people, that they can do it too, because sometimes these things can look scary, but when you do them, you realize that it's not too hard. And so get into that community group. We encourage you guys to, try things out, make mistakes and learn and get better, and just have fun with us, because that's really what it should be. Working with these solo flowers should really be fun for you. So we hope we make it fun for you, and some of these techniques are exciting for you to try out, and we love to see your photos as well in our group. So that is it. Next week I may do an arrangement, so some of you who now feel like they've got some dyeing techniques down and all that kind of stuff, painting techniques, we will arrange a spring thing next week. That's my plan. I have to put it together. It's kind of a big project. I'm going to need a faraway space, but I'm excited about it, so I think I'm going to try doing it for next week if I can get it together. Yay, yeah, JC, like the assortment boxes are so fun because you get a little bit of everything, all the different sizes, and you know, a bunch of different styles. It's fun to play and experiment. Sometimes you wouldn't look at a picture on Love Soul of Flowers and go, oh, that's the flower I want, but you get it in an assortment and you're like, oh my gosh, this in person is so much greater than I imagine. You play around with them and you come up with all these creative ideas. So assortments are really great for any of you that are new. We also have a tab that says assortments, and you can go through all the different types of packs. We have some premium flowers, and then we have the regular solas. Yay, how fun. Yeah, so these little guys are perfect for spring and summer weddings. If you are doing wildflower bouquets and headpieces and things like that, they are perfect for that because you can really do some really bright, fun colors. So that is it. All right, we will see you next week then. Everybody have a great weekend. Stay safe. Hopefully you're all warm now. I think weather's supposed to be better next week too. So everybody have a good weekend. Bye-bye.